The Democrats gather for the last debate before the South Carolina primary. Disgraced mogul Harvey Weinstein convicted and sent to jail, and Deontay Wilder wants a rematch and blames his knockout loss on a heavy ring walk costume. Today on the Diamond K Show. Welcome back to Radio on Fire, your man Diamond K, episode 402 of the Diamond K Show. Radio on Fire, we are reporting for the nation. Thank you for joining me. A lot of things going on here. Radio on Fire provides the best in breaking news, entertainment, political stories that matter to you from an independent point of view. So the debate happened, and many of you may say a debate. It was just a debate. How are they having another debate? Well, it's debate season. All right, in case you didn't know this, we have an election going on, and we're trying to pick the matchup for Donald Trump, obviously the Republican candidate, and we got to pick who the Democratic choice is going to be. We're down to 7 people who are running for this job. One of these 7 on the stage is going to face against Donald Trump. And I'm not feeling good about it. Okay, I'm not feeling good about it. The candidates coming from South Carolina, as I said, the South Carolina, South Carolinians are going to Saturday make their choices known, and then Tuesday is what they call Super Tuesday, and you're going to have 14 states making their choices. After Super Tuesday, which is next Tuesday, after that you're going to have probably half of the people dropping out before the end of the week. Let's say this: some people may not understand what exactly is the mission. What exactly are people that are in this race? What are they vying for? Okay. In order to get this 2020 nomination, they need 2,376 of all of the 4,750 delegate votes are needed to win any ballot at a contested convention. Right, so if the convention is contested, meaning that you're going in without a clear-cut winner. First of all, in order to win the Democratic nomination, a candidate has to win at least 15% of the primary vote in order to receive any delegate. So this is a race to get delegates. Okay. Now, there is no process to win super delegates, since they can vote for whoever they please. A candidate needs to win a simple majority of the total delegates to earn the nomination. So when they have these elections, when they have these primaries, when they have these caucuses, they're trying to get delegates. And Bernie Sanders, as of right now, has about 45 delegates. So they're on this mission to collect delegates. So after Super Tuesday, we're going to have a situation where some of these candidates are not going to have any path that can win. So what you're going to have is, after Super Tuesday, a lot of these folks, as I said, are going to be dropping out because they're not going to see a path forward. But that did not stop tonight's debate. Many of the candidates on the stage, I think, realized that this was the last hurrah. This was their last chance to turn things around. Bernie Sanders, who they are saying, based on what's happened thus far in the previous primaries and caucuses, there have been 3, 2 caucuses and 1 primary. Bernie Sanders in the lead. Nikki was in here. Nikki said, how is he in the lead? Like, she can't even understand how he's in the lead. I don't know whether it's his policies. I don't know whether it's his delivery that she does. What is it that she don't like about Bernie Sanders? Not sure. But all of the candidates seemed to know that this was the last hurrah. Bernie Sanders was a little bit relaxed. But the candidates, however, attacked Trump a couple of times. Attacked Sanders many of the times. Bloomberg came out swinging, accusing Bernie of being the Russian choice for president along with Trump. Bernie, of course, didn't like that, didn't take kindly to that. Elizabeth Warren seemingly has a personal vendetta against Bloomberg. I don't know whether they used to date or what. I don't know what she's so mad about, but she does not like him. She brought up a couple of things that I think people did not know. Many people knew that Bloomberg has been a Republican, an independent, and a Democrat. Elizabeth Warren, she wanted to bring all these things up. She also brought up the fact that Bloomberg has supported the campaign of Republicans in the past, most notably Lindsey Graham, who is also from South Carolina. But he supported many Democrats as well. And in the 2018 landslide, where you had like 40-some Democrats come in, Bloomberg supported all of those people. So he's kind of spread his money around. But where do his loyalties lie? Many people want to know. Many people question that. Where does his loyalties lie? I don't know. I'm asking you, where does his loyalties lie? But as I said, many people don't know where exactly his loyalties lie. Tom Steyer, sometimes he's on the debate stage, sometimes he's not. Just the way that the Democrats have handled this process, the DNC, has just been strange. It's just been strange. Sometimes you're going to have people, they've had people on the stage who are not on the ballot, and don't have others on stage who are on the ballot that is coming up, right? Bloomberg is not even on the South Carolina ballot. Tom Steyer is. Bloomberg is on the Super Tuesday ballot. But it's just, there's just a lot of weird stuff going on with the DNC, RNC. We're talking about two organizations that do some very, very questionable things. Ultimately, Tom Steyer, he's in this vanity process. This is a vanity thing for him, right? He says some things that make sense. I like where he stands on reparations. I like where he stands with regards to climate change, climate control. I like where he stands on a lot of things. I like the fact that he is someone who, he's not scared to say things, speaking truth to power. But he doesn't have a chance to win. You know what I mean? So it's like, on one hand, I like to hear what he says, but this is not going to be one of the candidates in the end. There's no path forward for him. He really should drop out, but he has so much money and he's invested so much, so he may do well in South Carolina, but the Super Tuesday states are not going to be kind to him. Not going to be kind to him at all. Elizabeth Warren, that is, said that Bloomberg was the most riskiest candidate that was on the stage. Things got very nasty between those two. She talked about him giving money to Lindsey Graham, as I said. She talked about him, of course, she talked about her getting pregnant and at 21. And then she said that her boss at the time, she was a teacher, she said, a special ed teacher. She said that her boss at the time, wished her well and gave her job to somebody else. She said she didn't have any protections. She didn't have a union working in her favor, none of these things. And she said, but thankfully she didn't have a boss like Bloomberg who accused of telling a former employee when she got pregnant to just kill it. Of course, Bloomberg denies this. There's this whole back and forth. Bernie cannot do the math. At least that's what it is. What is the math? It changes. We don't know. It's fuzzy. I think that this is one of the points that Bernie is most vulnerable about. His vulnerability being the cost. Is it 60 trillion? Like Amy Klobuchar said, is it 40 billion? Is it 50 trillion? We don't know. No one knows the cost of his Medicare for all. But Medicare for all is something that's needed. I don't see why it needs to cost that much money. But it is something that's needed. And of course, it is popular. But is it practical? I don't know. The moderates, of course, attacking Bernie, Klobuchar, Buttigieg, attacking Bernie as well as Elizabeth Warren, who is not moderate. She's progressive. But Joe Biden attacked Steyer in a... Joe was very feisty tonight. Joe Biden attacking Steyer about his investments in prisons, in owning prisons, and talking about some of the horrible things that happened at that particular prison. I did not think that anybody was going to bring this out, but this goes to show you how desperate some of these people were, how nervous some of these people were about many of these things. And so Steyer defended that. He said that, of course, it's something that happened in the past. He sold it. He was wrong, and he has been working on helping black entrepreneurs and his banking and climate change control and change and blah 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 blah. One thing about politicians: when you get hit with something, address it and pivot, and you turn it back on the other person. So that's one thing that he didn't do. He pivoted. He addressed it. He pivoted, but he's also supposed to turn it and you hit the opponent with something, and he did not do that. But Steyer did hit back. Well, I guess he did hit back about the crime bill. So if you want to say that, so he did hit back on the crime bill. Elizabeth Warren to me seemed desperate. She was just all over the place, attacking Warren, attacking Bernie slightly. She didn't mention Trump enough for me. Bloomberg, interestingly, Bloomberg had a commercial run during the debate. I thought that was interesting. Guns came up a lot, of course. Came up a lot, as well as some of the dictators that they claim that Bernie supports. Very interesting. Very interesting. So Bernie defended Cuba and some things that he claims that President Obama said, and what this interpretation is of what President Obama meant by that. Bernie said that, and Joe Biden defended Obama. Bernie defended his statements. Steyer called out the Republicans. I mean, it was all over the place. At the end of the day, I thought that Joe Biden seemed a little feisty. He complained about not getting enough time, people going over time. I mean, it's a debate, so people are going to go over time. And Pete Buttigieg, he was okay. But at the end of the day, who won this debate? At the end of the day, does it matter who won this debate? Of course it matters, because South Carolina is immediately forward. I don't think that Joe Biden won. I don't know if there was really a clear-cut winner. I don't know. I thought that many people had great showings. I thought that Amy Klobuchar was, she should drop out next week sometime. She may win Minnesota. She may not. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. Joe Biden may do well in South Carolina. He may actually win South Carolina. But that's not going to be a significant game changer. It's not. Mayor Pete, I don't know. He's in trouble. Bloomberg, in trouble. He tried and fell on his face trying to crack several jokes and throw some humor around. Not really funny. Well, we're going to see how this plays out Saturday. Of course, we're going to be covering this Radio on Fire. Your man, Don McKay. For those tuning in, this is Don McKay, of course, Radio on Fire. We're talking about this Democratic debate held on CBS. Many people surprised to see Gayle King she was there. And, she did her job. She didn't ask anybody any crazy questions, as she has been, of course, known to do in the past. She did not do that at all. But you're listening to the Diamond K Show on Radio on Fire. Stay tuned. We'll be back right after this quick break here on Radio on Fire. Your man, Diamond K. Stay tuned. And we are back, Radio on Fire, your man Diamond K in here. And, it's one of those days. It was one of those days, at least yesterday. Harvey Weinstein convicted of rape and sexual assault against 2 women. He was immediately handcuffed and led off to jail. But, of course, he said his chest was hurting. He took him to a hospital at Rikers. The conviction seals his dizzying fall from fame. The powerful Hollywood studio boss is an arch villain to the Me Too movement. Harvey Weinstein, 67 years old. He looked very emotionless. He didn't look remorseful to me. But he listened to the verdict that would send him to prison for could even be 29 years. But this is the new landscape for survivors of sexual assault in America. This is the district attorney, Cyrus Vance Jr. He said that he believes that it is a new day. It's a new day because Harvey Weinstein has finally been held accountable for the crimes that he committed. We're talking about Gayle, talking about Oprah, but they're not the only ones that were friends with Harvey Weinstein. He had a lot of friends. He was a Hollywood superstar producer, so he had a lot of friends. But the attorney said this. The district attorney Cyrus Vance Jr. said that Weinstein is serial sexual predator who used his power to threaten, rape, assault, trick, and humiliate and silence his victims. Weinstein convicted on charges stemming from a 2006 assault and a 2013 rape. So, don't worry, President Trump's not going to be coming out saying anything about this jury. He's not going to say anything happened to this guy. He's not going to touch this one. The jury found him not guilty of serious charges. 2 of the counts of predatorial sexual assault, each carrying a sentence of up to life in prison. Here's the thing. He's a first-time offender. So I don't think that they're going to give him the max in this situation. However, he has another case in California, which he will be convicted at that point. So that he may be harder. They may be harder on him on that one. But sentencing will take place on March the 11th. And the judge ordered Weinstein taken to jail immediately. Court officers surrounded Weinstein, handcuffed him, and led him out of the courtroom. The use of the walker he relied on, all this time during the court. He didn't have that one. He didn't let him use that. He didn't have that. So I guess he's like, shit, I can't use my walker anymore. I mean, what's the deal? But as I said, so he went to the infirmary and he said he needed medical attention after his back surgery. He said it was unsuccessful and his heart, chest hurting. Of course, he got hit with those numbers. I'm sure that his chest is hurting. We're going to see what happens March the 11th. First part of this, many people have a good feeling about it, feeling of justice being served. And we'll see. I'm going to withhold my real views until we see what he gets sentenced. You listen to the Diamond K Show on Radio on Fire. Hit me up on social media at the Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. Your man Diamond K. Let's take a quick break. Let's come back and talk about Deontay Wilder, his rematch, and all that good stuff after this. Stay tuned. And we are back. Radio on Fire. Your man Diamond K in here. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. Deontay Wilder boxing match over the weekend. I like Deontay Wilder. He's been a heck of a champion. He's done his thing. He wants a rematch. He blames his knockout loss on some heavy, costume that he wore to the ring. He said it was like 40 pounds and was, holding him down. He's a heavyweight. Okay, so you wore it to the ring. Big deal. You chose to wear that outfit. Nobody chose you to wear that. And he said he wanted to wear this outfit because he's celebrating Black History Month and, that kind of thing. But he could have worn something just like some clothes. If you want to wear something ethnic, traditional African garb, he could have worn something like that. He chose to wear some big, heavy, weighted down thing he chose to wear. And he wants to blame that for his loss, fatigue, whatever. But this was in a rematch with Tyson Fury. And it seemed that Fury got the best of Wilder as Wilder's team threw in the towel. So they throw in the towel. He fires his folks because he said he wanted to go out on his shield. Okay, your shield, the shield was gone. Okay, you dropped the shield on the floor in the first round. All right, the corner's trying to protect him from himself or his lack of blocking, and he's upset with them. You should have took that energy out on Tyson Fury. You could take it out on his training team. Really, really crazy. Tyson Fury made it known before the fight that he had planned on attacking Wilder once they were in the ring, and ended up doing so as he knocked Wilder down twice during this fight. Tyson ended up getting Wilder in the corner and hitting him with several punches that ultimately made the team throw in the towel. So he thought that he had a busted eardrum, but he got caught. Had to get like 7 stitches on the ear. So the eardrum wasn't busted. That he didn't have that excuse of the equilibrium and that whole thing. There were some weird punches, and there's at one point in time Tyson Fury actually licked Deontay Wilder's face. It was very, very weird. Very, very weird. So you got this rematch coming. They're saying allegedly in the fall. This rematch. Deontay Wilder, his pride's hurt now. So he's coming up with all these excuses. He lost the WBC title, but let's keep in mind he's done this to 41 other guys. You've been on the receiving end finally of one time, and he got every excuse in the book. He's got every excuse in the book. He was stumbling around. He was bleeding from the ear. And maybe they thought that the ear injury was worse than it actually was. Talking about his corner, not sure. But anytime your team throws in the towel, they're trying to protect you from you. But on the same token, this time last week, most saw Deontay Wilder as one of the baddest men on the planet. But over the weekend, his championship fight against Tyson Fury, the 11th title defense, it was not successful, has people looking at him differently. People will turn on you in a minute. Wilder started fighting to provide for his daughter, made it to the Olympics with no true amateur pedigree, then became a pro and fought everyone, with the exception of Anthony Joshua, who ducked him. During his whole journey, the world loved him until this rematch with a superior boxer. He loses, talking about Wilder, and now the same people that loved him are calling him trash and saying all the stuff. Just any insult that you could think of. I'm sure that is coming out. Same people. People are full of it. Deontay Wilder, I don't think on any day of the week is going to be able to beat Tyson Fury. The reason why he won the first contest, draw, whatever, is because he had a championship or whatever. He rocked him a few times, but ultimately, Tyson Fury is a better boxer, and he's going to outbox him anytime that they fight. So if he gets caught, if he can avoid getting caught, then he's in good shape. But all Deontay Wilder has is that a haymaker shot. Now, if he gets trained by somebody that's authentic and he gets another fighting style to add to his repertoire, that's something different. I just don't see it happening. Your man Diamond K, Radio on Fire, providing the best in breaking news, entertainment, sports, and political stories that matter to you. Become a member today. RadioonFire.com/join. We are reporting for the nation. Your man Diamond K, social media, hit me up at the Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire, all of that good stuff. I will see you guys tomorrow.